So, you wanna make an animation, but animation is very time consuming and most of the time doesn't look as good as it could be? Well, don't worry, motion capture has got you covered. In this video we're gonna be looking at 4 methods to capture your motions from free to the most expensive ones. Starting with this is the only truly free way to capture your motion, since all you have to do is record yourself doing anything, go to Rokoko Video AI website, hit capture your motions for free, and after creating an account hit create, drop your files, and wait for magic AI to do all the job for you. Also, you will have to download Rokoko Studio to be able to export your motions and import those to whatever program you use. Pros: it is very fast and easy free motion tracking. Cons: motion tracking from a single camera most of the time doesn't look as good as you would expect. It's good for small animations, but if you want to do something more complex, well, let's just say this way is not for you. Before we move on to the next MoCap method, let's take a step back to talk about animation retargeting. Long story short, retargeting is basically copying motions from one armature to another. Most of the methods only allow you to export animated armature that can be different from your character's armature, and most of the time it is very complicated or even impossible to import your armature to a program. So, we will have to retarget animation from one armature to another. If you use Blender, Rokoko has a Blender add-on to do so. Just install the add-on, choose animated armature as a source and your character's armature as a target. Go through the bone list and check if all the bones are correct and hit retarget. If retargeting did not work, check if the default pose of both rings is T-pose, so that it works perfectly. This add-on also works with any armature, which means you can retarget anything from any animated rig. Now, let's move on to To start doing a Kinect MoCap, you will need 1 or 2 Kinect sensors from any Xbox and a program that can convert Kinect data into a captured motion. To my knowledge, there are currently 4 programs that can do that. Mesh Online and Kinect Animation Studio are free and open source, and iPi MoCap Soft and Bracket Software, which are paid programs. For this method, I'm gonna be using iPi MoCap Soft, but I'll link all 4 programs in the description for you to try out. So, for iPi Soft you will need an iPi recorder and iPi MoCap Studio, then you put your Kinect sensor or sensors in such way that during recording there is as little chance as possible that your body parts are covered by other parts of your body. Then you record a calibration scene so that program could estimate the location of both cameras. You will need a large square object that you can rotate in different positions so that the program later could understand that it is in fact a square object and, using some fancy math, estimate from it the position of the camera. Then you record yourself being hit by yourself from the future, drop this file into the MoCap Studio and let the fancy program do all the work. That's a joke. You will fuck something up and will have to fix some parts of your animation because the limbs aren't visible here, legs are god knows where, and so on and so forth. Common stuff really. Anyways, then you export FBX to whatever program you want. Once again, if you use Blender, you can use Rokoko add-on to retarget animation. Pros: it is very cheap, only about $20 if you're going to use free programs, and also MoCap without any sort of suit. Cons: even though this MoCap is better than the video one, it still is not perfect and you will still need to do a lot of cleanup. I believe that if you at least have a headset without full body tracking, like me, most of the time this is the way for you. And if you do have full body tracking, you especially don't need anything but this method. I mean, come on, you quite practically already have a full body MoCap suit. The best software that allows you to record and export animation is called MoCap Fusion VR. It was free back in the day, right now its full license is $100 on Steam, or, thanks to regional prices, even cheaper in other regions. There are also free programs like Wire and DMoCap, Wire is the closest one to MoCap Fusion VR, but currently doesn't support Valve controller finger tracking, Oculus finger tracking, face tracking for helmets that are supported, and so on. But I mean, it's free and open source, so you can always change that. Basically, with both programs, all you have to do is boot up the program, record your action and export it. That's it. Wire exports everything in BVH, MoCap Fusion VR supports exports in FBX and directly as a blend file. Then you import all the animation in your scene, run it through the Rokoko addon to retarget stuff and done! Expanding on the VR topic, there is also a Blender add-on called OpenVR Tracker Streaming that allows you to record tracker data directly into Blender. You can also use it for a lot of cool stuff like attaching something to your arm or badly tracking stuff on your head. Pros: quite good tracking of the head and arms without full body tracking and even better width. Cons: almost $700 to get VR with full body trackers and a program that can do that. Alright, the last and most expensive one is... Currently the most advertised and popular one is Rokoko MoCap suit. It's $3,000 and very easy to use. It has finger tracking, full body tracking, and you can even attach a facial tracking if you have a spare iPhone. But I'm gonna be honest, if you don't have one yet and you are thinking about buying one, cheaper would be to just buy a VR headset with full body tracking. Finger tracking is a thing with Oculus Quest, and Slime VR trackers are like $300. It all adds up to like $600 plus MoCap Fusion VR and stuff, and you get the same result way cheaper than with MoCap suit. And with that said, it was all 4 ways to capture your motions: video AI tracking, Kinect, VR tracking, and MoCap suits. Each way has its own price range and each way has its own accuracy, and it's up for you to decide which way of motion tracking you prefer. Thanks for watching.